Today's guest is a former Season 6 House Rules contestant. She talks about her love of hairdressing, her love of dancing, and the frightening disappearance in the outback of her partner David. Please welcome this firecracker, my friend, Chiara Clarson.
Yep.
Welcome back, Chiara.
Oh, thank you.
You're wearing the same clothes.
I know, right?
Yeah, so am I.
Oh, so am I.
We need a wardrobe.
Yeah, we do actually need wardrobe. We really do.
All right. Let's talk about you now.
Right.
National, we were talking about before, you are Italian. So whereabouts in Italy?
So my mum's Sicilian. Yes.
Yeah, that's where we're from as well.
Really?
Yeah. No joke. I know you can't tell with my olive skin, but I'm not joking. I'm not joking. That's mum's side, all
Yeah.
from Sicily.
Yeah.
I'm actually not joking.
Okay, Ragnar. Yep.
And my dad's the north of Italy from Abruzzo or Vasto.
Okay. No, and they're both here in Perth, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okay. And I think we mentioned before, so you're one of 5 kids.
Well, technically 1 of 5 from my dad, 1 of 4 from my mum.
Okay.
So my parents separated when I was little.
Yeah.
And my dad got remarried and had my ball breaker sister.
Okay.
I love her dearly. Yes.
But she's a ball breaker.
Oh, like you wouldn't believe.
Really? Coming from you, that's saying something.
I know, right?
What does she think of you?
She's Chiara 2.0.
Oh, Jesus. The world's not ready for that.
No, you should see us together. Yeah.
I don't want to.
No. And she's so much younger than me and I love it. It's so good. She keeps me young.
Right. So where are you now? Like, as in, I don't need the exact address, but are you still down south of the river?
Yeah, still at the same house.
Yangebup?
Yeah.
Oh, you're a hairdresser.
Yes, I am.
From home?
Yes.
Where are we? We are Studio by Cara. Let's have a look at your Instagram. You love the gram.
Look, my business page is a bit boring. I probably need to put a little bit more time into it. But yes.
That's you there.
Yes.
Oh, look at this. Look at her. Someone's sassy.
Yeah, well, I was pretending to do work that day and then I got sidetracked and then I was like, let me take a photo.
Throw a filter.
Do you know, throw a filter. And you know what bothers me about other people's business pages is they never...
Tell me what bothers you.
Well, they put up all of these pictures about their business and their hair, but they...
Not about them.
Exactly. And I feel like sometimes you need a face to the name.
That's what I reckon.
I mean, that's the angle I'm going, whether it's working or not.
I reckon that's the way, because otherwise it's just like straight business, isn't it?
Well, it's just products and it's clients, and yes, it needs to be all about that, but I think I wanted to try and do something a bit different. But my young sister told me I probably need to jazz it up a bit more, but, that's because that's her generation.
How long ago was that? 56 weeks? That's a year ago. So you go through all different hair colours and things like that?
Yeah.
What are you going to go on the night? On fight night?
Oh, this is the problem.
Tell me the problem.
I'm trying to figure it out. What look I want to go for. I'm one of those people.
Just go cornrows. They're just scary.
Oh, I'm totally going to have braids while I'm fighting, but they're going to come out and hair and makeup are going to be in the room upstairs. So
are braids the same as cornrows? I'm not.
I think cornrows are really tight.
Tight braids.
It's like rows, whereas braids are a bit thicker, I guess. And it's it's closer together.
Doesn't that take hours to do?
Yeah. I'm not going to sit there that long.
Hey, so look at you there. That's you. Hey, have you got enough jewellery on? Are you boxing those? Are they called the stingers?
I've got my nails
Look
still.
at those nails.
I was actually going to ask that question whether they have to come off. But it's pretty ghetto of me if I keep them on, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just the little secret, the stinger. Just have that in there, the secret weapon.
Might go a bit shorter.
Yeah, I'm too sure. How are they going the gloves now?
Fine. I manage.
Really?
Yeah, right.
I know, surprisingly. I know, but I do manage fine.
And all the jewellery obviously comes off under
I
that.
don't wear jewellery.
Okay.
Most of in the hairdressing game, I am guessing a great deal of your customers are repeat customers, are regulars?
Yeah, so I've been working from home. Thank you. I've been working from home since my son was born. So nearly 12 years now. Prior to that, I was in salons. And, I built my business based on word of mouth. And and I've literally got clients from back then as well. So I've had new and I've got old and I've never really advertised my business, but
word of mouth?
Yeah, I've never really had to. So, and mind you, some have come and gone over the years because I've had to take time off for having children and things like that. But yeah, it's good.
Here's another dumb question. I just need to sate my curiosity.
Yeah.
What's the greatest amount of frequency that a particular customer might attend your salon? How often do they get their hair done?
Oh, how often? Oh, it varies. So we go anywhere from 4, 6, 8, 10 and 12 weeks. It just depends on what they're having done.
Someone's getting their hair done every 4 weeks?
Yeah, actually I had one client that come every 3.
Really?
Yep. Because she's got grey hairs. She's got to cover those up.
Oh, okay.
Is there such a thing as a subscription service for hairdressers?
I know a business who did that. It wasn't successful.
No, because it's not regular enough.
Because you never know what you're going to have on each service.
Ah, okay.
So it would work, but it wouldn't. I think it worked probably good for... it probably worked better for a male.
Yeah, actually, it would.
Yeah, but I think for a female, not knowing what they're going to have done each time, I know a business that tried to do it, but it didn't really work.
Yeah, you're right. Short back and sides, bit off the top. For
That's
the next 20 years.
We're pretty stock standard guys. Do you prefer guys or girls to do their hair?
No, guys aren't that easy, some of them.
Really?
Yeah. Some guys are actually difficult with what they want to have done, in which case I say go to the barber.
Do they ever bring you in photos and say, I want to look like this person?
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a couple like that.
Really?
And actually, but we get along just fine and it works fine.
Do you have to sometimes let them down easy when you know you can't achieve a particular look because they don't have the right hairline?
So if I came to you, for example, and I brought in a picture of, what's that cool man's name? Jason someone?
Momoa.
If I brought in Jason Momoa and I said, make me look like that, what would you say to me?
I mean, I'd say...
Sugarcoat it for
me. Maybe let's look at something different. Maybe let's have another little look on, look
at our options.
Yeah.
You wouldn't say something harsh to Brad, such as, listen, I don't like that, just like I don't like your profile pic. Yeah, you'd let him down easy, wouldn't you?
Yeah, generally I'd say go to Advanced Hair and sort out that time.
Amazing, gracefully.
But that's, I don't know, that's apparently the savage side of me. There is that side apparently. Just ask the ex.
I've just got sand in my eyes, that's all. It's not tears. It's not tears. Let's wrap it up now.
Oh, God.
That's it, I'm done. So you got 3 kids.
Yes.
2 jobs. You're running that studio by Chiara.
Yes.
And you're also at Forever New.
Yes.
I regularly shop at Forever New.
I mean, their clothing is amazing.
Is it? I actually only saw them for the first time. That is a female clothing line, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not me. That's my second job. Okay, and you've got three dogs.
Yeah, I do. I know.
How the hell did you even find time to come in here? Late.
Yeah, point that part out late. Listen, I actually had 4 dogs and 2 cats, and now I'm down to 3 dogs. And I will say, I don't know, I did
Cat
go through.
lady.
I don't know what was wrong with me back then because I'm struggling with the 3 dogs as it stands. So but they're good. They're all older as well, and I don't have to walk them because even though that would be good for them, but they've all got problems. They're getting old now.
So take it easy, do they? Just want to take it easy.
They just want to chill. Although until
it's an aged care facility for dogs.
Yeah, at this point, until they decide they want to be young again, and then bring a rat to the door like a cat does on the weekend, and then I have to try and bury it because I didn't know what to do with it. Oh, it was disgusting.
So you got 3 dogs. You got cats as well.
I used to have cats.
Jeez,
I used to.
it's far too much. Yeah, I know.
Oh, the worst one of them all.
Well, this is the only one I can find.
Oh, please.
Is it all right if I bring this up?
Yeah.
This is on your 30th birthday. I see. I'm just teasing everyone with a photo.
That wasn't my 30th.
You got a cake there that says 30.
That was the ex's 30th. I was 25 then.
Really? That is one of the greatest changes in a human being that I have ever seen.
Yes.
Jeez, can I ask how much? The thing is, you look fine there. There's no issue there. But that compared to now, that is just 2 completely different people. You actually look younger. You do look older than 25 there. So you actually look younger now.
Yeah, I get that a lot. With people from old pictures do come up. A lot of people reckon I look a lot younger now than I did then.
It's courtesy of New Idea, by the way.
I know.
I mentioned them, so
there
they
wasn't
get it for copyright.
I mean, look, there were other pictures on there. But, yeah, no.
They were too flattering for me. You know me.
You went straight for the jugular. You wanted to get it right in the feels. Nah. Honestly, to be honest, I look back at those pictures now and I'm proud of myself because...
Gotta be.
Yeah, although... it's taken me 8 years to get to where I am now. It wasn't an overnight thing.
How'd you do it?
So, I'm just trying to think.
You happy to talk about it?
Yeah,
Okay,
of course.
good, good.
After I had that picture was taken after I had my son.
Yep.
And he was only probably about 4 or 5 months old at that point. And then I had my daughter a couple of years later, and then it was after that I decided I wanted the gastric sleeve. Because losing weight was never a problem for me, keeping it off was.
Okay.
So, and I had a friend who'd had the surgery done, and I'd just seen her, obviously watched her journey. And, I'd gone to a wedding one year in Bali, and I literally walked past, like, glass windows, and I looked back and went, oh my God, how big is that chick? And realised I was looking at myself.
Really?
Wow.
And it was in that moment that I went, yeah, I got to do something about this. I can't just sit around and be miserable with how I look anymore, and certainly not recognising myself in a reflection is horrible. So I was like, yep, I'm doing this. So I put my private health all on top cover, had to wait out the period, like the year period time, and then I had it done. And initially I dropped roughly about 40 kilos.
That was massive.
Yeah, from my heaviest point. My heaviest point was 114 kilos. That was when I was pregnant, though.
Yeah.
But I always plateaued around like 105.
Yeah. And how tall are you?
162 centimetres.
Okay.
And then, basically from my surgery, I dropped down to my lowest point was 60.9. And I was so frustrated because I wanted to get past 60. And it was a year after my surgery.
So it's half your weight. Around almost half your weight.
Yeah, just under.
My maths for me there.
Yeah.
Apart from what you've discussed previously, that your portion sizes as a result of the gastric sleeve have reduced.
Yes.
Over the last 11 years, have you made any sort of permanent changes or gradual changes to your diet, how you eat, what you eat?
Yeah, so that was the biggest thing. Like, obviously being Italian and having the food, like...
they must want to pump you full of food.
One thing I definitely struggled to eat, which I don't really have so much of an issue now being 8 years post-op, my restrictions nowhere where it used to be. Like, I'd literally have half a sandwich and it'd feel like the rest, like it was in my throat, and that would never be a big sandwich. It was just the restriction in the beginning was massive.
Were you hungry all the time?
Yeah, personally, I actually would get hungry, which was really frustrating for me because I just couldn't eat. So, so things like carby foods, like pastas, breads, had to just completely cut out because there was no, like, value behind it. So, and then I pretty much turned to proteins mainly because I could, fit more in and be fuller for longer. So those are the sort of changes I made. But I also, along that journey, still had things like, you know, sweets or cakes and stuff, but I obviously just can't eat it. I can't I couldn't eat a slice of cake. I'd have 1 or 2 bites. Right. So, for instance, my first Christmas after I had the sleeve, I literally, because we had like a buffet of food, I get like a spoon of everything and just have a mouthful of everything so I could try it, and that was me done.
Sampler. Nice. And how are you feeling? You must have better energy levels and everything now?
Yeah, so obviously it probably wasn't until, what was it? So initially I wasn't really interested in exercising. Exercising, in fact, I used to hate. Had a really bad relationship with it. And it probably wasn't until about 2.5 years ago that I actually started exercising, like, seriously and properly. And that's where I've had other, obviously, gains and, you know, better things. But
what was your exposure to exercise in high school? What was your relationship with sports then?
So the only thing I did through high school was just dancing.
Okay.
I used to I used to dance at the school, and I used to go to a dance academy as well back then, but nothing like, I never used to do like comps or like exams or anything like that. It was just more for fun. But yeah, I was that kid that made every excuse to not do sport, PE at school, or every year. I know you don't want to hear it, but whenever the swimming carnival was on, it was that time of the month.
Okay.
I was that kid. I found every excuse. So yeah, I hated exercise, hated it, and now I'm obsessed.
Well, you're looking fantastic, I got to say. Hope that's all right to say. No need to call HR department for anything like that, okay?
I'll take it.
I found out something the other day that I actually didn't know about you.
Oh, no.
Yep, you're on My House Rules. Is it called My House Rules or House Rules?
Oh, it's just House Rules.
House Rules, 2018.
Yep.
They did not paint you in a good light, did they?
Look, I had some wins and I had some not so wins.
Let's have a look here. Do you want to tell us, because the only reason this sort of, I suppose, fascinates me is because a couple of my friends, I haven't check with them, so I won't name them.
Yes.
But a couple of my friends.
Yes.
Okay, a couple of my friends were on House Rules in 2020, last year.
Yes.
And these two people, and I know everyone says it, but these are two of the nicest people. They're most positive, friendly, helpful people you can imagine. And I just thought there's no way in hell they can paint these guys in a bad way. But they did. They made these people out to be almost like a bully kind of thing. And I was absolutely stunned. And from that, not that I suppose a reality show would be what I would do, but if they could do that to those two people, I can only imagine what it does. And I, like I said, I see him now. We did talk about it a little bit after it happened, and she's an amazing person, and he's great. He's so positive, helpful. But how did you find it? Because some of the footage I did see, it did paint you guys to be out as like the villains, and you had arch rivals. You were is it right to name these two?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Mel and Dave Wilmot.
Yeah.
Apparently the Queensland couple.
Yeah, they look. Look, there's a few. Like, to be honest,
look at you.
I know. Look, that's filtered, edited. But yeah,
doesn't do justice.
Yes, but yeah. Look, the experience overall was quite a full-on experience. I learnt earlier in the piece when it came to with what we had to do. The more you cooperate, the better off you are. So if you
sorry, is this the more you cooperate with
production?
Yep.
The easier it is for you.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, like, it is a situation where you're put in a pressure cooker and they want you to be under pressure.
Yeah.
And they want to see different sides come out of you because, you know what, it makes good TV. I get that. But there were some situations where, I felt, like it wasn't really fair how it played out. But in the same sentence, my theory throughout all of it is if you don't say it, they can't air it.
Yeah, that's it. That's a good way to look at it.
You did say it. I mean, yes, this clip that you're about to play was the opening. And I remember walking through Sydney, right, going and getting all the messages coming through from the crew. They're like, oh, my God, they've put out all the promos. And I watched it and my heart sank. I was like, no. But then the more I watched it, the more I started pissing myself laughing. And I was like, oh, I just cannot wait to see what people say. So at that time, we weren't allowed to have social media at all. So I was like, Mum, give me your logins for Facebook. I want to see what everyone's saying. Oh, I was just like mortified. But
you come across quite aggressive.
But then the thing is, I found as it went on and as they aired us, it actually made sense. And so I understood that the more I watched it as to why they were doing that, because they wanted to strike intrigue. They wanted people to be like, oh, I don't know about her. But then if you find, like, if you actually watch the series, we went from a villain couple to the most loved couple. That's how it's...
That's questionable.
Yes. Well, most loved couple, not so much now. But...
Let's have a look at this.
When I first met Chiara, it was love at first sight for me. It's a dream come true to have this chance, to have a home that she can be proud of.
All they need is that dream home, and that dream begins with House Rules.
There is nobody else in this world that I'd rather do this with.
Pull yourself together. You reckon you can do this? Do it.
That's exactly how you talk.
You are the most amazing woman ever.
I don't have time for this.
We work really well together as a team.
Shut up.
She's my best friend. She's my soulmate. I just need a cuddle.
Come on, let's get on with it.
Very caring, very honest.
Dave, can you scrap that stupid little piece of...
Love you, baby. She's everything to me. She's a very lovely girl.
Listen to me. I want to know the height.
Seeing my wife upset is like tearing my world down around me. I'm here for you, babe, all right?
Just ask you to drive properly.
Handle any more failure.
David!
My luck's running out. I can't do this.
This is my favourite.
You need to, so just pull yourself together.
Like never before.
I love you.
All right, put me down.
On the all-new House Rules on 7.
Okay.
Oh, zero
can I just
sympathy.
say, I have not seen that. I haven't even
saw that last night.
I have not
so
even
good.
seen a minute of that show previously, and I got to say, the people I think on shows very much like that they cast as villains are precious.
Yeah.
They're people who are manipulative. They're people who are malicious. You are not that person, right?
Zero sympathy. Zero.
Yeah, that is awesome. You were right to be laughing your ass off when you were first watching it. That was great.
When I first watched it, I was like, no, they have literally made me. And then the more I just kept watching it, I was like, oh, this is gold.
Yeah,
this is actually so good. Yeah.
Because he's saying all this nice stuff about you, and then you are just giving him nothing.
Yeah, yeah. But because...
What did you say in the car? I didn't pick that up.
Oh, I was like, I'm just asking you to drive properly. Because I can't stand the way he drives. He gives me anxiety. And, like, this is just on a normal day. Like, we'll be driving and I'm like, put your phone down, focus on the road, because then you'll hit a curb or he'll go up the arse of someone. And I can't. I'm one of those passenger. I'd rather drive.
You'd be a delight to have in the passenger seat.
Look, if it's for the very first time, I'll keep my mouth shut.
So how did you guys, because you in with House Rules, because you got close to the end, and then is it the last two people get their backyards done or something?
It was the front yard. So they changed it. Yeah, they changed it that year. So the year that we did it, well, prior to that, it was front and backyards at the same time, but they didn't touch the front yards of everyone's because everyone did actually have massive backyards. So they split the backyards up. So then the only people that got their front yards done are people who got to the finals.
Okay.
So we got to the charity house and we did that, and then we got eliminated after that. So we missed out by like one.
Really? How this bit's going to be questionable.
Yes.
How legitimate do you reckon those scores are? Okay, that's it. I know. They didn't do it when they did up the road here. They because COVID kicked in just as they were doing it. Yeah, so
I've seen the
didn't do any backyards. Yeah. I did. I asked him 100 times who won, and he just wouldn't tell me.
Yeah.
He told me.
Just a question.
I made $5,000.
What was the conversation like that you had to have with your husband when you were considering going on the show? Like, why did you consider going on the show in the first place?
Oh, well, we bought...
Yangebup?
Yeah, we bought the old house in Yangebup. That was by fluke. Like, we put a stupid offer in. They took it. It was at the time where everything was booming, and to try and get a house, you either got outbidded, and our price range at that time wasn't, like, massive. So we were limited. It was either buy in Yangebup or move down the freeway to, like, Wellard or those areas. So I was like, well, we put this stupid offer in. We got accepted, and I was like, oh, God, we got the old house in Yangebup. Like, okay, cool. And then as we were living there, we realised that, okay, it was a DIY disaster. My laundry out the back was powered by an extension lead.
Oh.
Yeah, so it was just like literally...
That screams like health and safety.
Oh, it was awful. So I was watching the show. I had watched, like, I think it was season 3 and season 5 I'd watched. And at season 3, I think I'd had little kids at the time, but then I still had Ellie Mae anyway. She was little. But yeah, I watched season 5 and I was like, you know what have we got to lose? Because that's right, we'd gone to try and refinance our house to fix the house up, and we got knocked back.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, because there wasn't enough equity in the house to do what we wanted to do. So we're like, I said to Dave, what have we got to lose? I'm going to do this. So I actually put an application in and didn't hear anything at all for probably even a month, because I did it right at the beginning. Anyways, I then said to him one day, I'm like, I don't think we're being looked at for this at all. So I reckon we can do another application. So I went online to try and do another application, but they knocked me back because they said my email was already registered. Yeah. I bet I just made up a new work email, didn't I?
Oh, so resourceful.
So I basically reapplied with a better video, because you've got to submit your video as well.
Yeah.
And the next day, we got a phone call.
Really?
Yeah, the next day we got a phone call, and it was basically went on from there. It was a phone audition, then you had to submit all this extra work, then there was a house audition with the casting lady, and then I got a phone call one day that, we got a couple of producers, Carolyn, I want to come in to visit you, and we're like, huh? They're like, can you make sure Dave's home? I was like, and he was flying out to work the next day, so he rang work and said he couldn't go, and they came and did the walk through the house, and at that point we were actually selected, but we didn't know until after they left. They rang us a day later and they said, we've chosen you guys, and we're like, holy shit.
Jeez.
Yeah, what are we going to do with the 3 kids? Mum.
How's the house Have you still got stuff from the renovation in the house?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Still got everything.
Everything, really?
Yeah, like the furniture, everything's still all there. Yeah, the house is pretty much... The backyard we had to sort of change and fix up.
Yeah.
4 days to do a backyard, especially the size of our backyard. Yeah, we needed to make that back to a concrete jungle because, you know, I barely keep the kids alive, let alone grass and plants.
Oh, the Italian grass.
Yeah,
concrete.
so we concreted everything. Yeah, so, yeah, basically that's what happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Geez, so you glad you did it?
Yeah. Yeah, I am. Like it's... Look, if one were to say, did I get my dream house? No, I definitely did not. Did I get a properly laid out better home? 100%. And that's what I'm grateful for.
So it's worth it?
Yeah, it is worth it.
Well, next time I'm down in Yangebup, I'm going to swing by and have a look at some. I will.
Just give me a heads up. I've got 3 kids, 3 dogs.
I might give you a heads
up. It's not going to be like, you know, how it looks when it was like all on TV.
I only saw a little bit of it on TV, so I will watch more now. That ad, though, I saw that ad last night and I went, I'm definitely putting this in.
I know. That's the best clip, I reckon. There is another one of me and him. I can't remember. It's in there, but yeah, it's a funny one as well.
What, just you teeing off on him?
Yes. I think it was like...
Jeez. That video is 45 minutes long. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so this here is Dave, who was on the show with you.
Yes.
He recently went missing.
Yeah.
You right to talk about that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let me hear your version of the story.
So my version is, well, we were actually separated for about, probably a couple months beforehand, or maybe even less than that, to be honest. And, yeah, he had gone away at that weekend. He'd come and said goodbye to the kids, and he drove to work, which is not something he had normally done. He'd only done it once before.
What area does he work in?
Southern Cross.
Oh, around there? Okay,
yeah, that way.
Something in Cal?
Yeah. So he basically put the address where he had to go. He took off that Monday. I didn't really speak to him. He said goodbye to the kids, and that was that. And, yeah, he put the address in the Navman and went to work. So on my end, I hadn't heard from him. We weren't talking anyway, so it was what it was. And it wasn't until the Tuesday that I had this number ringing me, and I don't generally pick up calls that I don't know because I get randoms calling all the time. So, anyways, I kept ringing. Eventually they sent a text saying... it says so-and-so from his company, and unfortunately we're concerned about his welfare. Can you give us a call? And I thought, oh, here we go. What's he done now? Like, what drama has he caused? Like, that's what I instantly thought.
Probably needed you in the seat next to him on the drive up there to tell him how to drive.
See, my point exactly. Anyways, I rang her back, and that's when she said, well, basically David drove to site. He checked in on his first 2 check-in points, but he never did on his final, and he never collected his key for his room. We're just wondering, have you heard from him? And I was like, no. What do you mean? Mm-hmm. She goes, well, that's what's happened. So we're out there looking, and you know, we're trying to figure out what's happened. But
what time of the year was it?
This was only
because this was recent.
Yeah, a couple months ago.
So the weather, still would have been warm up there during the day, though, wouldn't it?
It was cold. It was still cold, though. I remember rain.
Okay.
Yeah, it was cold. It was cold because I remember driving to his house, actually.
That's a lot of just nothing out there, isn't there?
Yeah.
That's heaps.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, keep going. So
then I can actually show you a picture of his car and what's behind it, so that just to give you an idea, actually not in there, just to give you an idea of what was around him. But yeah, basically I then I'll just show you this picture because I can't concentrate and I can't do 2 things at once. I know I'm meant to be a woman and I know I'm supposed to do all that, but I can't.
It's a furphy. No one can do 2 things at once.
2 things at where is it? So that's his car there. So I'm just going to see if I turn it. Oh, you can't really see it much better. But yeah, behind that, you can see it's just in the middle of nowhere, really.
Jeez, that is. And yep.
Yeah. So, basically what had happened was, from that point onwards, I was just like, what? So he's missing, basically.
Yeah.
I then had, obviously the sergeant calling, his company. I then also had journalists ringing, because they'd alerted the media.
Yeah.
and all of that. And I was just like, I just didn't even know what to do. I ended up sort of seeing that day out, and then the next day, so that was on the Tuesday, and then on the Wednesday morning I then had to get a key for his place and just walk into his place and see if there's anything
as in his place here in Perth.
He's got a unit here, and so I went. Basically, I had to. A friend had a key. I went in there. Like, it was, my mind was like running wild. It was like, what has he done? Has he harmed himself? Has he had an accident? Has he decided to keep driving? And like, what, I had no.
So you hadn't found the car by this point.
No. Jeez. And in fact, they didn't find the car until about a week or two after that he was found.
Really?
Yeah.
So what actually happened?
So, anyways, he on his end of it was that he was following the nav man. He took a turn that he was obviously kilometres and kilometres in, and as he's driving along, the road became questionable. And he hit a ditch.
With the rain out that way, that is very dangerous.
Yeah. So his car hit a ditch, and he managed to sort of manoeuvre his way out of it. Yeah. And as he's sort of done that, he's gone up and over something and crushed his gearbox. So then he's trying to obviously move the gears to keep moving, and he ended up snapping the gear stick. So he became stranded.
And did he stay with the vehicle?
So that was on the Monday.
Yeah.
So Monday night he stayed with the vehicle. On the Tuesday he got obviously out of the car, and he reckons he'd walked, I think, either 20 kilometres roughly either side of the car, but he kept coming back to the car. He spent Tuesday night in the car. Come Wednesday morning he was still waiting and waiting. By lunchtime he was he'd actually run out of water the day before. He had a block of chocolate that he was just taking a piece each at a time. And basically by lunchtime on the Wednesday, so missing but was happened on Monday night, by Wednesday lunchtime he was like, no one's coming.
They took that long to find out that he wasn't there?
Well, like no one had found him. They didn't find his car, nothing.
No, but how long had he been missing before they realised he was missing?
Well, they were trying to contact me Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
So it was like So when he didn't attend work in the morning, they were like, he hasn't come to work Tuesday morning. So then they've tracked everything back, and they're like, he didn't get his key. He didn't do his last check-in. So, that all those pieces sort of fell together. And then, he was walking by Wednesday lunch, and it wasn't until it was about 5 o'clock Wednesday night that he found the Windarling Airport. Yeah. His phone came back into reception, and he just called the first number he could, which was, I think, a mechanic up on site. And they raced out straight to him. And they got him and brought him to the hospital.
Oh, really?
So, it was quite the ordeal on both ends. Cause
you can get lost so easy out there.
Yeah. So, I think, like I said, his car wasn't found until a week or two later. So, they still hadn't found it.
So, he's just suffering a bit of dehydration and exposure?
Yeah, so he was completely dehydrated.
Yeah.
He then obviously came home and was still trying to be hydrated, but he was really, really sick and vomiting and all the rest of it. So he couldn't, obviously, trying to get hydrated and you're vomiting isn't going to...
No, it's not going to help.
No, so then in the end, after testing all the rest of it, he found out he actually got Ross River virus.
Oh, jeez.
So that's why he was so sick also. So, now at the moment where he's at is he's doing much better and he's on the road to recovery, but he was really quite unwell for like a while after that happened. So
that Ross River virus, that's no joke, is it?
Nah, he's like, well, to be honest, at the time I was like, stop being so dramatic.
I can imagine the sympathy from you. Toughen up.
I was like, come on. And but then I was trying to help, and then he wouldn't let me help, and then that's when I get frustrated. I'm like, you're just faking it anyways, but he wasn't.
Attention seeker.
Yeah, well, he is actually.
So the site itself, he had never been there before, hence he was getting...
He'd never driven to that site before. He'd driven to another one, but not to that one. So that's where the confusion had come up in, obviously, which way to go.
And if it's a newly cut track, then Navman and other GPS systems might not have it in there.
Then that's exactly what happened. The Navman gave him a street, and then as he's driving along, it's cut out, he's lost reception. And then he's had the accident. So he wasn't able to turn back around to go back. So...
Jeez. He is so lucky.
Yeah. Yeah, and if he'd stayed at the car, he probably wouldn't even be here. So, yeah.
He to stay at the car. He knew better.
Yeah.
Dave knew better.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad he's safe and well, because that would have been absolutely terrifying out there. Yeah. He's still got have I got this right? He's still got dingoes and all that.
Oh yeah, he reckons while he was
that is true.
walking, there was like one following him for a while. He's like was shitting himself because obviously his energy levels weren't great, and I think it was like a dingo. Something was following him for a bit. He did say, yeah,
eagles circling. Dingo following. They're not going to have a go at you. They're just waiting until you.
They're just waiting until
drop
it's easy
dead and give up on life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's safe and well.
Yes.
That is full on. That is.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a story about me being lost out there. I went prospecting there a number of years ago.
Yes.
And I was dead certain. I reckon I was 50 metres from the car, and I was dead certain I knew which way the car was. But I had a Garmin, I think it was.
Yeah.
Completely wrong direction. I went, no, this Garmin's wrong. And I was thinking, I thought, this Garmin's wrong. And I think, I'm not following this thing. It's going to tell me
compass is wrong, the map's wrong, the GPS is wrong, I'm right.
I've got it all up here.
Yeah.
Could not be more right. And I got lost within, like, you could shout and hear, like, if someone was at the car, they could have heard me. And being out there, that's gutsy to be walking. How is he in the bush? Like, is he?
Yeah, I mean, I think they roughly worked out it was about 90 kilometres he walked.
That is terrifying.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. I'd be scared.
Yeah.
With dingoes following me.
Yeah, it was pretty full
Oh,
on.
jeez. Okay, sorry, Arnie.
It's okay.
Sorry, Bear Grylls over there.
Yeah, don't you know? I've just been on a massive tour of the outback. I could write a book now.
He was slumming it in a 2021 Prado.
Yeah.
You know it.
With a camper trailer that has pull-outs.
Yeah.
Hey, I broke an aerial.
Oh no.
He was slumming it. He did the whole trip without heated seats.
No.
No, I had those.
I think that's it.
That's it?
Is there anything else you want to add? This has been delightful.
Oh, I'm very entertaining, I know.
You know, we were told to keep part 1 to under like about 10 minutes and part 2 to 15 minutes.
What have we done?
We've got an hour 20.
Gee. Oh my God, look at the time.
Just edit it like the House Rules clip is edited. Just bang, 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 bang.
I know.
It's all killer, no filler.
All killer, no filler.
I'm putting that. I gotta get permission to use that because otherwise they just not that one. They're just gonna if you try to use any of this stuff, they just no, they're not happy with it.
Oh, I know.
So anyway, Chiara, that was a pleasure.
Oh, thanks for having me.
That was good. Second part 2 was so much better.
Yes.
I did enjoy that, and that is interesting to hear about house rules, your weight loss, goddamn.
Yes.
And also great to see your husband or ex-husband is safe and well.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks for coming in. Good luck. In 3 weeks from now, I will be there. I'll be cheering your name, dancing to Havana Brown on your walk out.
Yeah, you better be. And if I don't see you,
I'll be there.
I'll find you later.
I'll be there. We will definitely share some overdue drinks afterwards at your victory party.
Excellent.
Thanks for coming in, mate.
Thank
you. We look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks.
Yes, thank you.